Hi ladies, welcome to Stampin' Bingo Night. We are slowly but surely getting started here. Hi Patsy, welcome. I was just at the same time of checking my settings, had a couple of texts come in regarding tonight's event. So I was trying to do that at the same time. Looks like we're in good shape. All right, we're gonna stall for just a moment or two. And I'm working hard at making sure that I have to always make sure that the audio on my computer is off. And my microphone for this recording is on, all the little things. And now I am trying to stay out of your way. Hi, everybody. And just bring up the comment box. All right, so as you're joining, if you would go ahead and begin typing, just say hello. Give me, okay, Debbie's here. Excellent. And Debbie, only because I was just texting with you, I wanted to make sure that everything's cool on your end and with Cheryl and her packet. I'm super excited about our projects tonight. And I haven't even really done any stamping today. I was creative. I had a blog post that I did and some things I put on Pinterest and a bunch of cards and envelopes that needed to go into the little the little clear envelopes, the clear sleeves. And so I did all that, but I haven't actually had my hands on stamps and ink. So I'm looking forward to tonight. Okay, I'm not sure. Debbie, I'm responding to you. I'm not sure. I can see from my Shippo account that it was placed in the mailbox on the 19th. So worst case scenario is that she can watch, Cheryl, you can always watch the playback. And I also post this whole Stamp and Bingo Night to my YouTube channel. Sometimes it's easier to find there. And then the projects can still be made after the fact. So I know some of you gather and do this event together. I think that's super fun. I think if I was participating in one of these, I would want to do that with a friend or with one of my daughters. And that would be really fun to do. Okay, we are going to get started. I know that I usually have people trickling in the first few minutes. So let me say a couple things like I usually do at the beginning of an event. Many of you who are watching and playing tonight, in fact, I'm going to grab my list. Many of you who are playing tonight are already Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. But I also obviously invite my customers and Stamp Club members to play along. And it just depends on the month, depends on who plays and how many people we have participating. Yeah, a lot of you, the majority of you tonight are already demonstrators. So there are a few things that I won't probably take a long time explaining because you guys have been around for a little while. And Stephanie's here. Hi, Stephanie. Made it. I know you have had a hectic couple of days. Okay, so as I was saying, I do like to point out my website, but those of you who are demonstrators, you will always do your orders through the demo site. And for those of you who don't know, it's a wonderful benefit to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator so that you can get 20% off of your products. Now, there are lots of other benefits too, but usually that's the big one that gals will say, I'm kind of already hooked and I'm enjoying this hobby, and so I'd really like to get a discount. For those of you who are just my customers and are watching tonight, you can order your products at my website. Click on Shop Now to go to my store, and this is the current host code that you will put into the box at checkout. And it's kind of a sneaky little box. It's not intended to be, but it's not super obvious the first time that you're looking for it, but it does confirm that you're shopping with me, and it has a box where it says, if you have a host code, enter it here. That's where that goes. All right, the first packet that I'm going to have you reach for, let me reach for mine. Okay, is going to be the one with the garden green cardstock in it. So go ahead and grab that packet. This first card is the hardest one of the three. And I shouldn't even say hardest. It just is going to take the most time out of all three. It's a little bit more complicated. So for those of you who have been stamping for a while, you'll feel a little bit more challenged instead of something super, super easy. But I fell in love with the design. I decided to do it for tonight's event. And then after I made my sample, I was like, wow, that was kind of a lot. So we're going to do this one first while we're all fresh, okay? Hopefully you have a snack, something to sip on, and you've got your packet and your products, all right? And we are going to jump into our first card. Tonight we're using the Color and Contour set of stamps and also the coordinating dies. Now, for those of you who have the stamp set and not the dies, that's totally fine. The couple of things that we're going to cut with a die, you can just cut out with scissors. All right. And for the first time ever since I've been offering this event, there are no stamped images in your packets. So that is why I wanted to promote the stamp set so that you could purchase this ahead of time and be ready to go. So you're going to need a black ink pad. I'm going to grab mine. And then let's lay out our parts. Okay. I want to kind of do a little checklist just because I want to make sure that you have all your parts. So you should have a card base that looks like this. This is garden green cardstock. It's already got a score in it and a little flap. All right, check. Then you should have a large piece of designer series paper. These are always typically two-sided, so that's not different tonight. We're going to be using the side that is less busy, all right, so the side that is more subtle. Then you should also have another piece of designer series paper, a narrow strip. This one is 1 7/8. How about that? Don't you love it when we use the eighths? By 5 1/4. Okay, that piece is going to go here. Again, we're just doing a quick checklist. Okay, then I'm also checking. Evelyn is here. Hi, Evelyn. Welcome. We're just doing a quick checklist on your first packet. Then you should have a garden green piece that looks like this. And I do believe that I pre-scored all of yours, so it does have a little fold in it. All right, check, check, check. Moving on, you should have 2 pieces that are the identical size of designer series paper. Okay, so you got those. If at any point you do not have these pieces, please let me know in the comments because I will help you figure out what to do. But I think so far we're okay. This is the one that I have in question. Oh, you have a die cut that looks like this. Okay, that one is going to be fun. Wait till you see what we do with this. And then you have a scrap of basic white cardstock. And Patsy, I'm apologizing ahead of time. Yours was literally sealed and taped and ready to go. And this piece had not gone into the envelope. So I let you know that ahead of time. Hopefully you grabbed a scrap of basic white. I don't see any comments, so I think the rest of you have your scrap. Here's the question. Do you have this piece? It's another scrap of basic white. It's 1 7/8 by 2.5 inches. This is the one I'm concerned about. So in the box, let me know yes or no if you have this piece, because we're going to make this one work if you don't have this one. Okay, but this is the piece we're going to start with. So I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to give you guys a second to respond as you're going through your packet. Thanks, Patsy. All right, so checking on this piece. Let me know. Okay, so if you don't have this piece and you own extra white cardstock, just cut a piece. If you don't have any extra white cardstock, I'm going to tell you what to do with this one, so sit tight. If you're going to your trimmer right now, this is 1 7/8 by 2.5. So I'm going to give you a minute to do that. If you do not have this piece, we are going to cut a piece off of here and use it. All right. So you're either going to, I hate for you to eyeball it because we really need for it to be about 2.5 inches long. I'm double checking my measurement. Yeah. So if you have a ruler, or if you have some grid paper or a mat, something to determine where that 2.5, wait, is it 2 1/4? Look at 2.5. 2.5, yes. Okay, you're gonna cut that off of here. Okay, so I'm gonna do that because I'm worried that some of you don't have it. Evelyn doesn't have it. Okay. Okay, so Stephanie, you may have ended up with 2 packets. Does your other packet have one that is scored? And if not, it's going to get scored at 2 3. It's just folded in half. So you can score it at 2 3/4. Let me see if that's right. I'm looking at my measurements. Or just fold it in half. Okay, and I'm going to cut a piece off of here so that I can be working along with those of you who didn't end up with this little scrap. I'm not sure if it was an afterthought or what I did, but you know. Okay, so I'm going to cut a piece of this, and I am going to cut nice and straight because we're using this whole piece. Okay, so if you had to cut your piece, now you have a scrap and you have this piece. So here we go. All right, the first thing that you're going to do is take that smaller white piece, and we are going to stamp the thank you for everything stamp from our stamp set. I'm rustling through mine to find it, okay? We're gonna use the thank you for everything in our black ink. And this is going to get stamped in the center of this piece. All right, so let's go. Here we go. The starting gun has gone off and we are getting going. All right, so we've got our words in the center of that. Okay, Steph, I knew that that would not hold you up. Okay, we've got our words on there. Then I also want you to find your stamp of the flower. And I know those of you who are reaching for your stamps and your blocks need a second to grab that and mount it to a block. And then this is going to get stamped in this upper right corner. It's just going to be a teeny bit of it, okay? We're just going to stamp on the edge like that. Just a peek of the flower. All right, so this is fun because I know that you're stamping along with me tonight. Sometimes I know that participants are just watching, but most of you guys are going to stamp with me. Okay, now in this piece, we're going to fill in our petals. If you have the stamp set, then you can reach for the actual stamp that has the petals, and we're going to fill that in. And You can actually use whatever color you want. I think I'm going to pull from one of the colors in here and use Pale Papaya. This is a soft pink or a peachy color. So I'm going to use Pale Papaya. And it's so tiny because it's just in the very edge. You saw I put my little scrap paper under there. I've got my Stampin' Pierce mat under because I do get better images with the photopolymer stamps if I use a mat. All right, so the petals don't extremely matter. If you can figure out the direction that they go, good for you. Otherwise, it doesn't even matter because it's very freeform. It's very artistic tonight. Okay, so now we've got some color on there, or if you were using markers or you can color in a few of those petals. Okay, now I am going to grab a marker. I'm using Balmy Blue, and I'm just going to color the middle because I actually got part of the middle on my paper like that. Okay, so that's finished. Okay, and then we're going to set that aside, but we're going to keep using those flower stamps, so don't let them get too far away from you. Okay, we're going to bring in that scrap that we have left of the white paper. Okay, so here is the alternate. If you went and got an extra piece of this and you still have a long piece of this, 6 inches, you can stamp 3 flowers on here. The rest of us, we're going to stamp 2. Okay, so I'm going to use my black ink and the outline stamp. And I am going to tell you how I line mine up now that we're going back to the flowers. If you look at the flower, there's kind of one oddball petal that's very squared off on the edge. Now, if you look close enough, there's another one that's kind of square. There's a skinny one, but there's one that's pretty obvious. So if I can always locate that one, then when I bring in this stamp, I can kind of find that same little funky square petal. Now again, if you can't figure it out, don't worry about it because it's super artsy and it should just kind of look watercolored. It shouldn't look perfect anyway. Okay, so you've either got 2 of these flower petal stamps or 3. And then at that point, you are either coloring in your flowers with some markers or stamping the inside with the other flower stamp. Okay. I feel like there are times that I can see this better than others, and tonight I don't really feel like sweating it, so I'm going to go with this. All right, so we've got that. You tell me, are you sweating it? Are you trying to line it up perfectly? Or are you just eyeballing it and going? Okay, don't leave me hanging here, girls. Okay, after you've got some of those petals colored in, there isn't really a center in this stamp set for the flowers. So I looked long and hard. This is definitely for that. This is for this, which we're going to use later. So since there wasn't a center, that's why I grabbed my Stampin' Blends. So I am using, I have Misty Moonlight here, and I also have Balmy Blue. So I'm going to take a peek. Did you grab some markers? I'm going to grab a peek at how dark this is. Ooh, I kind of like it. Okay, I'm going to use my Misty Moonlight, and it's the light. I'm going to color the center of my flowers with that. You can do whatever you like. This is your project. I am guiding you, and you are making it yours. Okay, Patsy, thank you. Awesome. She is winging it right along with me. It's totally fine. All right, now if you have the dies, what you're going to do, oh, we also need a couple of leaves. Okay, so let's do our leaves while we're at it. So you're going to go to the leaf stamp. And it's kind of a leaf and a little, I don't know, maybe a tendril or something. All we really need is the leaf. So you can probably sneak it in here. Let me grab my scratch paper. Okay, and I'm doing these in black. So I'm going to get a leaf like this. Okay, this is going to be just fine. And I'm going to sneak a second one in over here. Try to get 3. See if you can get 3 leaves. All right, this is all going to get cut up. If you had the longer piece, you have it just right. But if you had to cut it like this, we're going to be squeezing a little bit. Okay, and I've got my soft succulent markers for those leaves. Okay, I think we're hitting our stride. Here we go, girls. That was a little slow getting out of the gate. All right, so I am using my soft succulent in the light marker on my leaves. Any green will do. Whatever you have handy. I think tonight all of us are from Southern California. Nope, Evelyn is from Massachusetts. Evelyn, I don't know what your weather was like today. We have had cool weather, mild, and today was like 90 degrees. So that is our typical spring. We roller coaster from warm to cool. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of dark. You don't have to do this, but I'm just adding a little dark vein down the middle of mine. Okay, let's move on because like I said, this card is going to take a while. If you have your die and you want to cut these out with your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you can do that at this time. Or you can take scissors and fussy cut. So what we want to do is get our flowers cut out. I have some that I've already cut with my dies. Let me show you those. Looks like I used a different blue on that one. Oh, I used a variety. Look at that. Okay. So if you're going to cut it out with your dies, this is what you'll end up with. And you'll have 2 or 3 flowers. Either way, your card is going to be gorgeous. And if you do not have the dies and you're using your scissors, then we're going to fussy cut these. Cool. Okay. So Evelyn is saying where she lives in Massachusetts, it was like 65 to 70. Oh, you guys can see that. Which, you know, was like 3 days ago, 2 days ago. That's what we were doing too. Okay. And then speaking of weather, my husband had to be in Boulder, Colorado 2 days ago, and there was a foot of snow on the ground in Denver. They had had a snowstorm all night, the night before he flew, so go figure. All right, so if you're using your scissors, you are just doing a fussy cut, which means you're hand cutting it. That's all fussy cutting means. But don't make yourself crazy about perfection. You can see that I'm just weaving in and out of the petals, like so. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is once your 2 or 3 flowers are all cut, either die cut or fussy cut, put a comment in the box so that I can see how we're doing. All right, so you're going to end up with flowers. You also want to have your leaves. And same thing, because I'm working with those of you who may not have your dies, I'm doing the fussy cutting along with you. And it's kind of a loose shape, okay? Okay, right this minute though, I am roasting. I had long sleeves on in my house because it was cool. Not outside, but my house stayed nice and cool today. And now that we're stamping and working, it's getting hot in here. Okay, so I'm on leaf number 2. And now I'm on 3. It didn't get colored all the way. Let me fix this one. All right, and then I will be watching the comments to see once your flowers and your leaves have been cut out. Okay, and stick with me. You're gonna love, I'm telling you, you are gonna love this card, but it is taking a little bit of effort. Our second card is super fast. So all the extra time that we're using right now, you're gonna make up on the second card. Okay, I don't see from the comments that any of you are done yet, so that's fine. I'm gonna pause and lay out the pieces that you should have at this point, either 2 or 3 flowers, couple of leaves. I know it's kind of a lot to color and cut, so let me give you time to do that. I was also preparing earlier for my YouTube video. I do a series on Saturdays. I release a video every Saturday morning called Simply Saturday. They are all in a playlist, so if you're watching one, it's easy to continue and go on with some of the others. But earlier today, I was trying to get the card designed for my Simply Saturday video, and I think I've got it figured out. Okay, you don't need the squiggles, Stephanie. Nope, just kind of the leaf shape. You don't need that little line. And so that makes it a lot easier to cut out too. Okay, I will show you what's going to happen with these. These are going to get kind of like tucked behind. So this is how that's going to look. Let me scroll and see what you can see. All right, so as long as you have kind of 2/3 of the leaf, you're going to be fine. These are going to stick out like that. All right, we got done, awesome. All right, and Patsy and Debbie, did you have the dies or did you fussy cut? I'm curious. Okay, now we are going to go to that little die cut, okay? Put all these in a little pile, not too far away. We're gonna come right back to them. And we're gonna go to that little die cut. This is an adorable shape. I just love it. And this is part of the coordinating dies to this stamp set. Okay, here's those dies. This is what it looks like if you don't own these. So we're going to take that and we're going to stamp on it with the other words in the set, the one that says "You're absolutely amazing." So go ahead and grab that stamp, get it mounted to one of your blocks. We're going to use the black ink. I'm going to also show you this one that I did is embossed. So on your own at another time, if you wanted these words embossed on there, that looks super cute too. And then you also got a sneak peek of our stitching that we're going to do. Okay, so I'm inking my Stamp Up, "You're absolutely amazing." And I'm going to, I don't think it's going to hang off here. Just kind of eyeball it, center it, and get your tag stamped. Okay, fun. All right, we're going to do a little bit of building here. You've got your pieces handy. Let's grab the card base and this large piece of Designer Series paper and attach that. I'm going to use my liquid glue. You can use the Stampin' Seal or tear and tape. If you still have old packages of snail, of course you can use that. All right, and this is going to get glued right to the inside panel of the card. So just kind of eyeball your margins, see if they're somewhat equal, and then commit, right? Just do it. All right, then we're going to put this piece onto the front flap. So let's do that. And I will also invite any of you who might be watching to go ahead and jump into the chat in the comments and let me know that you're here. I did invite a few brand new customers. I mean, new to stamping, new to everything. And so invited them just to pop in to the Facebook Live tonight to just see what we're doing. So I would love to know if you girls are watching. Okay. Debbie's got her dies on order. I totally understand. Okay, so you've done your fussy cutting tonight. You earned your stripes. Then you'll have your dies come soon. Okay, we're gonna go to this little folded piece of garden green. And I'll show you how this is going to attach so that it will make sense. This is actually going to get glued to the inside of the card like this. All right, and this part opens. So once you can see how that's going to go, now that is more clear where the paper needs to go. So we're going to put one piece of the designer series paper here, and we're going to put one piece on the inside flap like that, and this stamped piece is going here. All right, so let's do all of those pieces. Again, right now while it's sitting in front of you, it's like a backwards book. Okay, and we're going to put, again, you probably are going to choose to have this pale papaya, the subtle side of your paper showing, because they blend, they just really coordinate nicely. And some of the florals might compete with each other if it's too busy. It's so funny. I'm watching on my monitor and the screen keeps freezing and then all of a sudden it catches up. So it's kind of funny. It's a little distracting. Okay, and then the other piece of designer series paper, and the only reason I'm looking at it is so that I can watch and see if you guys have questions or comments. So that's why I do that. Okay, and that's going on the inside flap on the right. Excellent. And then our stamped piece is going to go right here. Lots of steps, right? This is a fancy fold. Okay. So now you have this piece complete and this piece complete, and we're going to get ready to put it all together. The tag and the flowers and the leaves are all going to go on at the end. And if you have some stronger adhesive, so this is a good time for either your Stampin' Seal Plus or for your tear and tape, go ahead and grab that. And we are going to put adhesive on the back of this green piece. We're going to attach it. You can see my placement, okay? It's not half. It's not way at the bottom. It's kind of like almost to the bottom. All right, that's where that's going to go. So I've got my tear and tape. I just worked on my paper pumpkin kit the other day. And this little roll of tear and tape came in that month's paper pumpkin, so I've been using it up. Well, that kind of went crooked. All right, I'm going to put 3 strips on here. That should hold it. I was just going to say, all right, if you're really behind, leave me a comment saying that you're trying to catch up. But if you're really behind, you don't have time to type. So just keep going And when we start bingo in just a second, you'll have time to catch up if you need to. I just tried to throw my scraps into my trash can and I missed entirely. Trash can's on the other side. All right, so once you get your adhesive on there, hold on. Don't do anything. I'm double checking. Okay, all of a sudden I freaked out that I was doing this wrong. Okay, and you're going to attach it. I probably panicked some of you. You're like, what do you mean? Wait, I already stuck it down. Oh, my granddaughter likes the flowers. Yes, Stephanie, you can glue it. Just don't use so much that it's going to ooze out, but be a little bit more generous with your glue than maybe you would, because you really want this piece to stick down well, and it's kind of heavy. So yes, regular glue is fine with that. Okay, oh my goodness, look at how cute this is going. Okay, are you loving it? All right, let me show you how the decorations on the front go, because you may find that you want to finish this one later. And this is why. You can take your tag, and I sent you a piece of white baker's twine. And what I did with mine is I brought the end of the twine up through this hole, okay? If this is straight, on the left there are four holes going down the bottom. I brought it up through the third hole and pulled it way through. Let's see, is this how I did it? I'm trying to remember how I did it so I can tell you the same way. Okay, hold on, because I want you to have enough to tie your bow at the end. Okay. That was right. I just needed to do something different. And it's a little tricky getting the twine. Okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to pull a piece up and have a tail sticking up like this, because we're going to need that to tie a bow at the end. So you're going to leave that tail, and you're going to take the rest of the length of the twine and start to basically sew, go in and out of those holes. And this could take some time, especially if your twine is being difficult and fraying when you try to put it through. All right. So it's at this point that I don't want you to give up and say, forget it, I'm not doing it. So you can either not do the twine at all, or you can set this piece aside and do it later. Oh, see, I'm trying to do mine like thread. You know how you lick the end of it? Okay, so you're going to go up and down and up and down and up and down until you end up with this. It is amazing. It looks so cute. I'm going to keep doing a few more so I can try to pace with you guys. And if this is not pleasant for you, you're like, no, I don't sew and I don't want to mix sewing into my stamping, then just don't do it. It's still going to be super cute. I had a trick that I was going to show you at the last minute. I remembered this trick and then I didn't have any of the things. Oh, I just caught it. You know the little... Oh, they're like little loops, and it's to feed dental floss through. Oh my gosh, I wish I had one in my desk. It works great when you're trying to feed twine through something. Hi, Charlene. Good, I was just saying that I might have some new visitors pop on here. Okay, you girls that have time to type right now, type in the comment box, hi Charlene. Charlene came to a free card class that I had on Saturday, and we had so much fun. And so that's why I invited her to just pop on here and see what we are doing. Charlene, I told you on Saturday that our community of stamping people, Oh my gosh, they're just such nice people. And this group that's watching tonight is no exception. Okay, how are you doing? How are you doing with your sewing? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how the card looks at the end in case you want to set this aside and do it later. All right, so this is what's going to happen. This little tag that we just created is going to get mounted, attached to the flap, and you want it to come over here pretty far. All right, not all the way, but fairly far. You know what? This is right in the middle of this. That's a good way to mark it. Okay, so you're going to attach this. I'm going to use my tear and tape, and then you're going to take your flowers, and this just gets decorated. Most of you have 2 flowers, okay, and a couple of leaves. So in true creative fashion, you're just going to tuck those pieces in with glue, like so. All right, so this is how your finished card is going to look. And I'm showing you that in case you want to stitch this but don't feel like doing it right now. All right, and if you want on your computer to take a screenshot, you can do that, but I'll show you a finished one at the end anyway. Okay, so if you don't want to put the thread through your tag, it's still going to look really cute. Look at, okay, you wouldn't have even known otherwise. So it's still super cute. So if you want to go ahead and finish the front of this, or if you're waiting on this, that's fine. You can put your pieces in a pile and come back to them a little bit later. I'm going to bring in a completed card. This is a different color scheme because I was fiddling with the new paper called Abigail Rose. So this is what this one looks like. All right, it's exactly the card that you just made. It has the flap, has the same stamps. Isn't that amazing? So beautiful. And these are our colors for tonight. All right. Now, I also provided you with some gems. And so once you get to that point, I'm looking for mine. Remember how I always tell you to be careful when you pour your little packet out so you don't lose your gems? Well, where's my gems? Okay, I probably swept them on the floor when I was moving stuff around. On this one, I used 3 gems. So I used 1, 2, actually on the background page. And then I used a 3rd one right here on the tag. So you probably were provided with 3 gems at least, and you can decide where you want those. Okay, Patsy must be tracking with me. Super cute. All right, and then what we're gonna do from here, Charlene, especially for you, since you're kind of just watching tonight to see what we do, we finish one card, and then we're gonna take a moment and play a game of bingo. And for the winner of bingo, I have a package of hand-stamped note cards that I will be sending to you. And then we're going to go back and stamp card number 2 and so on. All right, so this is the completed one. I'm going to put it aside and show you yours one more time. All right, this piece with some tear and tape, and then just little bits of adhesive to tuck in your flowers and leaves. All right, this one, Stephanie, I know, this one was challenging. I told you guys in the beginning, I was going to push you a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna put this one aside, and I'm gonna get the bingo numbers out, and we'll start our first game of bingo. Is there anybody that needs to know their numbers? Because I can give you those right now. If you need to know them, simply let me know. And in the meantime, I'm going to give these a good shake. All right, let me check and see how we're doing. Okay. All right, here we go. First number of the night is 16. So most of you have played before, but if you have not played, if the number that I call is one of the numbers that you registered with, then you type into the comment box B. So if you chose number 16, I'm looking at the numbers right now. I don't think anybody chose 16. Okay. Then you would type a B into the box. Let's pick a second number. Number 9. Okay, we do have some people who chose 9. So if you registered and chose number 9 at registration and I just pulled 9, you're going to type into the comment box a B because we're going to spell bingo eventually. All right. Check your numbers. Some of you have 9. There we go. Okay, we got some B's. There we go. Now, if I call a second number that you also have, then you're going to type B and I. All right, so you're going to work on spelling bingo. Here is number 2. I'm going to draw a little quicker in the beginning because it takes a while for us to get a bingo. The next number is 12. Okay, we still just have a couple of B's in the game. Then I have 6. I was looking for Patty. I know Patty had some plans that she thought were going to come together tonight. So she said, if I don't jump in, I'm going to do my projects later. All right, number 3. 3 is a popular number this month. Check your numbers and put it in the comments for me. Okay, we still just have some B's. I expect to see some changes now. And okay, I'm also checking the delay. Awesome. Okay, we've got some B-I. Taj is in the game with a B. All right, here's our next number. Number 22. 22. Okay, our next one is number 5. All right, we've got some B-I's. B-I. Evelyn's in the game with a B. 23 is our next number. All right, and then we have 25. 25 is usually a popular number as well. I always think it's interesting because some of you choose to play with the same numbers. You're like, eventually they're going to be lucky. Some of you change numbers every time. Okay, Cheryl has B-I-N. I think I see what's happening there, right? Because Debbie and Cheryl, you guys are playing together tonight, right? Excellent. Thank you for telling me how that's working. Taja has B-I. All right, here's number 10. B-I-N-G. Oh, we have a lucky first timer. 14 is our next one. All right, our next number is 15. B-I-N, B-I-N. I think we still just have one B-I-N-G. B-I. Okay, our next one is 21. 21, B-I-N. Okay, we're getting close. A couple of you are building your word. And then 11. B-I-N-G, B-I-N. Awesome. Okay, I was just scrolling to make sure I didn't miss anything. We have a number of B-I-N going on. All right, number 18. The next one is 24. Oh, Bingo. Wait, I see it in the box. Okay, so you guys help me. I see bingo for Cheryl. Okay, so I think that that's our first bingo. And let's check our numbers, okay? Sometimes I forget to do that. So tonight I'm on my game. All right, so let's check. We have Cheryl has 3 and 9. Now these are the numbers that Cheryl registered with, in case you're new to how this works. 11, 23, and 25. That is a verified bingo. Good job. Congratulations. I always make a note, so I've got it down. Cheryl, a package of hand-stamped cards is coming your way. And I'm making a note that you were my first winner of the night. Congratulations. Okay. Let's clear these and jump into card number 2, which is fast and easy, I promise. All right, so for this one, you're going to need your packet that has the crumb cake and the floral paper in it. Okay. Awesome. Okay, you guys are the best. I love you all so much. This is so fun. Thank you for being here. All right, let's check our pieces real quick. You have a piece of crumb cake that is already folded for you. Okay, now if you're new to cutting your paper, this started out as an 8.5 by 11, cut lengthwise at 4 1/4, and then I cut a piece off the front. Let me tell you what that measured, because this is a very easy card design for you to copy. Okay, so you're gonna cut 1 1/4 inches off of your front flap, and look at how amazing this is. That flap is right here. Okay, so this was your piece that you cut off from there, all right? And this is gonna get used. This is the 1 1/4 inch piece, okay? Cool. Then you have a piece of very vanilla, which we don't use all the time. Mine has something on the back, so it's good. That paper is two-sided. I will be gluing it down this way. Okay, and then you have a couple pieces of designer series paper. So you have this piece that measures 4 by 4, and you have another little piece that kind of looks like ledger paper. This is very antique-y looking. Not a common look for cards that I do very often, but I was drawn to this paper. I'm trying to remember what this was. I think this is part of the same Abigail Rose paper where this came from. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. All right. Steph, okay, Steph, you're almost done. Did you do the sewing? I know that took a long time. Hang in there or set it aside if you need to and come back to it. All right, let's do some gluing. Take your very vanilla piece and let's attach it to the inside of the card. This one's going to be like bing bang. I'm telling you, it's really fast. All right, this is going to get attached to the inside. And as we commonly do, just kind of check your borders. See if it's pretty straight eyeball-wise. I'm going to tip mine a little bit. Thank goodness for liquid glue. If you need a little wiggle room, you have time. Okay, I'm going to press that down back here. All right, that's the inside, easy. Then we're going to take that little piece of designer series paper that looks like a ledger. It's got flowers on the back, but it's going to compete with this. So I encourage you to use this side. And it's going to get attached onto that vanilla piece right at the edge. Okay, so you can just kind of lay it down, line it up with the edge of the vanilla, like so. See how cute that is? It's just going to peek out. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is attach this piece to the front. See how easy this design is? You need your base, an inside, a couple little pieces of designer paper. Okay, let's attach that. Now, when you pulled these pieces out of the bag, you probably saw that you have a little butterfly. Make sure you don't lose your butterfly in the process. All right, this floral piece is going to go on the front panel. All right, like so. How you doing, Steph? Did you finish card 1 or set it aside? Okay, then this little piece that was originally cut off of our card base is going to go this way on the front. All right, that's pretty nifty. I don't know if any of you tried to order the liquid glue several days ago when it was not orderable. Luckily, that didn't last long. I checked 1 or 2 days, it was not orderable, and then the next day it was ahead of schedule. Because I was out, man, I needed to get some on order. Okay, now, if you find that your strip, I mean, if it feels a little long, it shouldn't. It should be exactly the right length. But if it feels a little long, you can always, I don't feel like mine's straight. There we go. You can always take your scissors and trim it. Okay, so don't be worried if it's sticking out. I'm going to check both sides of mine and see if it needs a little. It just needs like a smidge. It's definitely not an amount that could be measured. Okay, it's just a smidge. So I'm going to clean that edge up like that. And then this side, I think this side's okay. All right, all caught up. Okay, awesome. Okay, and let's do our stamping. Again, this is the stamp set that we're using tonight. And we're going to go back to that You're Absolutely Amazing words. I'm going to use Early Espresso. If you have that color of ink pad, go ahead and reach for it. If you don't, that's fine. Black will be just beautiful. So don't worry about it if you don't have Early Espresso. Crumb cake would also be nice. This cardstock is crumb cake. And on this card, this tag could really go either way. We are going to go this direction with the straight pieces on the left and the right. All right. So I'm going to clean this stamp because I'm going to use the Early Espresso. All right. And you get 2 tries. Stamp it on the front of your tag. Aim for the middle. Try to get a nice clean image. If you aren't happy with it, you can flip the tag over and stamp the other side. All right, there we go. That works. And then at this point, you can decide to go ahead and just use your glue or tear and tape to attach this. This is just going to go right in the center. How easy is that? Or if you have dimensionals that are handy, go ahead and grab some dimensionals. So I will do that on this one. I'm going to use 4 dimensionals kind of in the corners. Okay, this is also a great card design if you're trying to use up any of your retired designer paper and make space in your stash for some new papers. All right, so I took the backings off of my dimensionals, and let me see if my screen is frozen or if we're good. Oh, totally frozen. Okay, so I'm looking at a screen that shows us still playing bingo. Hopefully your comments are current. I don't know why that is happening tonight. Okay, and attach this right in the center. Okay, and then you're going to need your little butterflies. Let's see where mine are. Aha. Okay, here's another question for you in the comment box, because I don't know if I gave you 1 or 2 butterflies. I don't remember. I made your packets days and days and days ago so that I could get them into the mail. So you at least have 1. So if I only put 1 in the packet, then you're going to put it wherever you like it. I think I would put 1 here. And if there are 2, or if you have extra butterflies, then perhaps the second one up here. And these, what are they called? Brushed brass butterflies. 1 butterfly. Okay, so put it here because I think it needs the weight of it down here. This one would be optional, okay? These butterflies have been a favorite of mine because they're a cute embellishment, but they're super flat. So they're not gonna bulk up your card a lot, all right? And boom, that one is done. All right, totally different design, different colors, and we've got card number 2 finished. All right, so we're gonna bring our bingo numbers back in for game number 2. If you're a tidy stamper, you're probably cleaning your stamps as you go. I'm doing mine right now. I'm catching up with myself. And if you're a messy stamper, by now you have stamps all over your space. You have a couple of ink pads out. You've got the backings from your dimensionals all sprinkled all over the place like this. Okay. Here we go, our second game of bingo for a wonderful prize. Number 8. And right behind that is number 4. All right, and you guys are caught up with me, and my screen just caught up. Okay, here we go. The next number is 13. And then we have 10. Okay, I'm catching up with my comments. There we go. We've got a couple B's going on for this game. Excellent. Okay, the next number is 3. And then 18. B, okay, Patsy's in, Taja, Stephanie, oh, see, those are popular numbers. All right, number 17. B-I, B, okay, number 6. 6. And that is followed by 12. Sorry, I was just scrolling a little bit to make sure that the comments are current. Number 22 is next. All right, we've got some BIs. I still have some guests that are registered that I haven't seen comment. So if you're jumping in late, be sure and put something in the comment box so that I know that you're here tonight. BI. All right, number 5. I'll tell you what was funny. We started with Stampin' Bingo nights in November. So November and December and January. And then what was actually surprising, since this is the first year, I haven't gone, we're just at 6 months now. March and April were actually the toughest months for people to commit. And that was because spring break was spread out all different for so many people. You know, it was like even in December, Christmas all was at the same time for all of us. BI, BI. And then this month again was more normal. And I had a couple people say that they couldn't this month, but they'll be back next month. So it's very fun. I'll be putting out the June date before too long. Number 9 is next. We still have some BIs. I don't think we have any BINs yet. Now we do. Okay, Evelyn. All right, number 14 is next. And then number 1, some of you have 1s. I'm checking my list. BI, BI. 21. BIN. Okay, number 7 is next. BING. Debbie is in it for the win. She's trying hard. BIN, BIN. Oh, they're going to give you a run for it. This is a race, girl. All right, number 11. BING. Stephanie is, oh my goodness. Okay. Wait, Debbie, that was it? I'm looking at the comments. I think Debbie is the first one to call out bingo. Let's do a quick verification. Okay, so let's see. Debbie registered with number 1 and 7. Ah, that 7 is what you needed. 9, 13, and 14. There you go. That's a verified bingo right there. Congratulations, Debbie. Look at it. You and Cheryl are hanging out tonight and you both are winners. Okay, that tells you something. That means on Stampin' Bingo night, play with a friend because somehow it brings you extra luck. Okay, we're going to clear this board and go to our third and final card of the night. Steph, you were so close. We had a couple close ones. Evelyn was close. Stephanie was close. Taja, oh my goodness. All right, congratulations, Debbie and Cheryl, our first 2 winners. All right, you have 1 more packet. Let's pull those pieces out. And we will work on this card. There's 1 variation to this one, so I'll tell you kind of plan A or plan B, and you can do whichever one you want. All right, so you should have a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock. And then you also have a piece of basic white. That is going to be the inside of our card. Then you have a strip of Designer Series paper in black and white. And this strip, in case you're remaking this card in the future, is 2 inches. I probably gave you a piece that's almost 6 inches long, but we're going to end up, after we attach it, we're going to trim it. So this piece only needs to be 2 inches by 5.5. Okay, this is a little extra long. We're going to trim it. And then you have a die cut piece of white that looks like this. We got this piece by running, which one? I think this one. By running this die through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then it cut out this lovely rectangle with the little scallops on the edge. Super cute. I'm telling you, a lot of times there's a stamp set that you like and maybe you don't necessarily need the dies. On this particular stamp set, I would own the dies even if I didn't own the stamps because these rectangle frames are amazing. I've used these way more even than the stamp set. All right, let's see what else you have. You should have a white piece like this, a little scrap. Okay. And then probably a small piece that looks like this, a smaller scrap. All right, so we should be good to go. I'm sure all the pieces of that made it into your packet. All right, so here is your variation. What we're going to do first is stamp on here with this stamp, okay? So it's the flowers on the stem. Let me talk about it first and then we'll start in case you wanted to do the variation. So this piece is going to get stamped onto here and then die cut. I'm going to try to not bump the camera and reach over here and get my die. All right, sit tight. It's just out of reach. Okay, and we're going to die cut it with that or fussy cut. Okay, that's plan A. If you don't want to die cut or fussy cut, you may also stamp this image right onto this piece. Okay, I like variation A better, but it is those extra steps. So at this point, we're all going to stamp. I'm using my black ink, and you're either going to be stamping onto this piece or onto this piece. And then this one will have to get die cut or fussy cut with your scissors. All right, this is kind of a large stamp, so I like to leave it down and flip my ink pad and do this method. It seems a little bit easier to control that way. Patsy, I think I did the same thing. I had the dies and then I'm like, why didn't I just get the stamp set too? All right, and then I'm going to stamp this onto my scrap. All right, so you're all either doing that along with me or stamping these flowers onto this piece. All right, so we've got that in place. Then there's a stamp in the set that looks like this. And these are the inside images of the flowers. All right, so you can grab this stamp and put it on a block. I'm going to use Poppy Parade. It's the same color as our cardstock. If you are not stamping the insides, you can certainly grab some markers and just color in the flowers on your own. All right, but I am going to line these up. I'm going to try to not get in your way, but I want to see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm just going to line those up, drop the flowers in like so. And again, it's very artsy. It's not supposed to line up exactly perfect. It's kind of watercolory looking. All right, at that point, you can grab some markers if you like. I'm going to get some green. You could use really any green is going to look just fine. So whatever you have on hand, I'm going to use Granny Apple Green Stampin' Blends. And because these leaves are super skinny, it's really just going to take a swipe of color to fill them in. Okay, I'm going to use the other end. There we go. All right, so just a little bit of color. And you can decide if you want to also kind of draw. Let me make sure I'm in view here of the camera. If you want to draw right over the stem, it's up to you. It just kind of adds a little bit more green. Excuse me. Okay, and then we're going to die cut that. If you don't have the dies, then grab your scissors and you can fussy cut. I'm going to use my mini machine. So I did not pre-cut this, so I'm going to be cutting along with you guys. So I brought in my mini Stampin' Cup. Let me peek and see if you guys are doing okay. No messages? Okay. All right. I do prefer our large, the regular size, Stampin' Cut and emboss machine. But this one in a pinch, or if you're new and you're just watching your budget and you want this one, it is cheaper. But this one is great for on camera because it doesn't take up as much space. Okay, now I brought that die out here, didn't I? Here it is. But I just think that the bigger machine, all in all, is easier to use. I don't know what you have found. I'm also going to grab a little piece of, this is Post-it tape. I don't know if you guys have this in your little craft drawer. I love it. I mean, you could also use washi tape, but I tend to grab my Post-it tape more often. I'm just going to get a little piece of it and hold my die in place. It would probably stay just fine, but it is a little frustrating when you go to cut an image out and then your die slips and you're like, oh man. So I'm going to line this up exactly where I want it. I'm going to put my Post-it tape on there to hold it and then run this through. So we can get that image cut out. Okay, get this guy out of the way. Take my sandwich apart. The Post-it tape comes off of your paper really easily and off of your die also. All right, so there we've got that cut out. And now we can put the rest of our card together. All right, if you did the other variation and you stamped this right onto here, then what you're going to do for this next step is take the splatter stamp, also from this set. It's all we're using tonight. Everything is from this set. Take the splatter stamp and, okay, I'm going to hold this on here as if it was stamped on here. And you're just going to stamp a couple of splatters, maybe one up here in the corner and one down here. Okay, that's if your flowers are stamped onto here. If you did the die cut method, so this piece is not attached yet, it's super easy because we're going to also put some splatters, but we don't have to go around the flowers. So I'm going to do one here. I'm just going to go diagonal like that. Okay. While you have your splatter stamp out, also go ahead and put a little splash on the large white piece that's going to go on the inside of your card. That's how we're going to finish that one. Okay, then we can take this piece and we're just going to attach it. Now, let me talk you through some of the pros and cons. If you actually stamped this on here and you were to make a mistake, obviously you could flip it over and try again, although the back of a die cut is a little bit different than the front of the die cut, but that would work. The nice thing about this is you know for sure that you're not going to have any errors. So you've got a pristine die cut and this is just going to go right on top of that. Let's attach that. And I'm just going to put a teeny bit of glue on the stem and the leaves as well. And I'm going to lay this on here and then wake up my monitor and see if I have to answer anything. Okay, you guys are busy stamping. You are not typing, you are stamping. Okay, so now that goes on there like so. So the finished product is going to be pretty much the same whether you stamped onto this piece or whether you did the die cut. I like this. I just think it looks a little bit cleaner. And of course, we remove the possibility of an error because we had it all stamped and ready to go before it went on there. Okay, So we've been stamping, let's keep stamping. We're gonna take this piece and stamp "Thank you for everything." I think we used that on the very first card. This one, back to my basic black. We used black almost singularly tonight. I know I used Poppy Parade and Early Espresso just once each time. So we did a lot tonight with just a black ink pad. All right, when you put this onto your small scrap, and I don't know how small of a scrap you got. Hopefully it's about like this. If it's a little bit bigger, we can trim it down. But you're going to stamp your words a little bit to the left. Okay, so yes, definitely over to the left. And in doing that, it's going to give us some room here to trim a little banner. All right, there's lots of ways to get the banner end. One favorite way is to use this retired punch. This was called Tailored Tag. And by putting your paper in and just taking a bite out of it, you get a perfect tag punch or banner end every time. That's one method. There are a couple of other punches that will allow you to do the same thing. But in the absence of a punch, we like to use our scissors, and this is going to be great for those of you who are new. It's a good trick. So what you're going to do is take your scissors and snip in the center, a little ways in, just make a straight snip. Then you're going to take from the corner and aim right towards where your snip ended, and you're going to cut that. And then you're going to go from this corner to the center. So not only does it create the little banner end, which is what we were going for, it's also very, very straight and equal. If you were to take a piece of paper and try to eyeball it like this, it usually doesn't come out as well. Okay, it usually ends up a little lopsided. So then you go back and you try to fix it. And then you try to fix this side. And before you're done, you have nothing left. So this little trick of snipping to the center first is super helpful. All right, now a bunch of you probably already knew that, but it never hurts to remind you of good tricks. Okay, Stephanie, thank you. You're a good fan. All right, let's put our card together. I'm going to take the inside piece and attach it to the inside of the card. This is your white piece that maybe you stamped the splatter on. You might have gone rogue and stamped a flower on here, which I'm sure is lovely and is a great idea. I went for quick. No fuss, no muss. Okay, there's my inside. Then I'll take the black and white piece. This is going to go on the front. You want to leave a little space here, maybe about 1/2 inch, but you don't have to feel like you need to measure it. And remember, the piece that I provided you might be a little bit long. And actually, I kind of like doing that. It seems to line up better if you're able to trim the ends instead of having to have something that lines up perfectly on this end, be straight, and line up on the other end. So often when I'm putting a strip of designer paper on, I will make it longer than necessary and then just reach for some scissors and trim off the excess. Okay, if you don't like to do it that way, I totally understand. And then that piece only needs to be 2 inches by 5.5. All right, so there's that. Then our scalloped rectangle is going on next. And I'm pretty much centering it on the card, so it shows a little bit of that black and white all around. Whatever adhesive you want will work for this. I don't think it's too thick for the liquid glue to work, but if you want to use tear and tape, you can, just because it's another layer. I'm eyeballing my top and my bottom to kind of get that as even as I can. And then also, I kind of want this to look somewhat straight. Once you're happy with it, just commit. Get it on there. And then we're going to add our tag. Same thing. At this point, you can use whatever adhesive you want. If you would like to pop it up with dimensionals, you may. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do mine flat. Play with the placement. If you put it low, that looks really good. It does cover the bottom of your stem if you care about that. If you put it up higher, you can see the bottom of the stem, but it covers up there. Just wherever you think that it looks best. I think on this one, you know what? I have an example to show you. If you're not happy with it, you don't like how it's covering this, you can also trim this end. So I'll show you. I can get closer to my words here so that it actually just fits, and then your whole stem shows. So it's up to you. All right, I'm going to get that on. And our third card and final card of the night is complete. So that happened to just fit. See, my points are right at the edge of my cardstock, and the whole stem still shows. I don't think it matters if it covers this. So do what you like. All right, and there we have our third card. Okay, tonight was all about color and contour, a really amazing stamp set. The dies that go with it are incredible and worthwhile on their own. We've got our 3 cards that we made, all with quite a different look. And I'm going to pull this one in because it's the one that's completely finished. Remember, I set mine aside, my green one, because I'm going to put it together at the end. Okay. But look at how different, even from the same set, all of our cards turned out so different. I love it. Okay, I'm going to grab my bag, and we've got our third and final bingo game. Let's see who our lucky person is tonight. Thank you, Debbie. I'm glad that you like it. Stephanie, way to go. You know what? This is all about being crafty and creative. Bottom left it is. I love it. All right, here we go. Number 18 is first. And then 25. We have 17. And 5. Charlene, thank you. You're so sweet. I'm so glad that you took the time to watch what you're doing. I'll make sure that I get the date for the June Facebook Live event, Stampin' Bingo Night. I'll make sure that I get that date out to you as well, in case you'd like to register and play along with us next time. Number 19 is next. And then, oh, we've got some B's. Okay, we've got a game. Here we go. 13 is next. And I will go ahead and greet some of you who are not tuning in to the live, but are going to be watching this on the replay. I hope that you enjoy making the projects along with the replay. If ever you have any questions, I can always be reached by messaging me or text or email me. Oh, we've got a couple more B's. Okay, sorry, I'm busy cleaning my stamps and yammering. Number 14 is next. And number, oh, BI, okay, number 7. And number 1. Taja has BI. Number 21. The packages of note cards that are going out to tonight's winners are also all made with the color and contour stamp set. So you'll end up getting a handful more samples of cards that can be made with these products. Look, I just found this one little lonely butterfly sitting in here. He wants to get used. Okay, the next number is, Stephanie has BIN. All right, Taja has BING. Let me check. Okay, here we go. 12. We're getting close. The next number is 9. BIN, BING. We're getting close. BI, all right, Evelyn's in. All right, number 3 is next. Stephanie's close with BING. Number 16 is after that. Oh, wait. Taja. I see Taja with a bingo and Stephanie with a bingo. Taja and Stephanie, let's check numbers. And I do have backup prizes, so that's fine. We can have 4 winners tonight. How exciting. Okay, let me go with Taja's numbers first. Taja had 3, 7, 13, 21, and 25. Taja, congratulations. That one is verified. Stephanie had 3, 7, 9, 19, and 21. There you go. Congratulations, ladies. Good. I'm so excited. Okay, I will write that down. So Cheryl and Debbie and Taja and Stephanie were our big winners of the night. And I got that written down for my memory. All right. Thank you all so very much for tuning in tonight and for playing. I'll bring that host code back out real quickly in case you are ordering product from my website. And this is the host code. And I will definitely be getting back to you to say thank you for playing tonight and also putting out a June date for Stampin' Bingo next month. Thank you so much for watching and playing. I love you all. You guys are the best, and I will see you later. Bye.